I love the energy and I want to keep it going.
All right.
But
let's go.
I want to get into what will be easier to edit, basically. All right. So.
Okay.
Hello. As you can tell, we had a special guest to do a special interview. And unlike our typical episodes where we try to keep it clean and cut out any swearing or anything like that, this being an interview, we felt it just best to leave it as it is, uncensored. There are a few naughty words that come in, and that's about it. So we just wanted to give you that heads up. This is our first interview we've done for the podcast, and it was an absolute delight to do. I hope that you enjoy it as much as we did making it. And with that, let's get on to the interview. Hello, and welcome to Filling in the Gaps. I'm Justin.
I'm Darren.
And I'm David.
And today, as you can tell, we are joined by a developer of a puzzle game called Summertime Madness. Welcome.
Thank you for having me there.
This game is one that we actually got into a bit early, which is not normal for us. We typically come to games quite late when they're cheap. But we've played this one because it was in the humble Trove, which we will talk about in just a bit. But I wanted to start off with talking about just kind of you as a person, kind of getting a feel for who you are. And the first thing I would like, since we're talking about a game here, is what is your history with video games? As a player, as a designer?
Well, as a player, I guess I have 13 years of history as a player. Like, it was probably Christmas 95, and my parents bring me home Sega Mega Drive with Sonic, first one. And I was 6 years old, or 7, something like that. And it was like, okay, I'm gonna do this whenever I grow up. And this was the plan, basically. And it didn't work it out for like 25 years. I just went, complete opposite way. I've studied university. I have been studying economy and statistics, like a lot of maths and stuff like that. I was like, okay, this is an hobby. I'm not gonna make money from this. I guess because living in Italy, in south of Italy, is like, there are things that are like real jobs and things that are not real jobs. It's weird to really explain, but it's like, okay, boy, you gotta grow up and find a real job. And, my parents are just two fantastic human beings, but still they were like, okay, do whatever you want. Play music, whatever, make movies, animation, blah, blah, but still find a real job. Keep this like off your, and it was like, true, like, it's hard. How I'm gonna make it? So yeah, I guess this was just an hobby for me for a long time.
So did you actually do any work in economics after graduating?
I've been a researcher at the university for 1 year.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. I kind of liked it. Like, I was fine with that. I was getting paid. I was, university is a cool place to work. There's a lot of young guys. I was young, so that's fine. And, well, long story short, I had the most iconic breakdown you can ever imagine. Like, waking up one day, and I was like, oh, okay, this is not my life. I'm calling out. I'm not going to work today. I'm leaving my house. I'm leaving my parents. I'm leaving my girlfriend, which I had for 8 years. Just like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing.
So,
I will be...
Sorry, I was going to say, so it sounds like you hit the reset button on your life then.
Oh, yeah. And it was as brutal as you can imagine. Not like, okay, maybe I have to consider. No, it was just one day. Everything crashed down. And I was like, okay, I don't want to spend my whole life sitting in an office and doing paperwork. I just can't pretend this is just an hobby. I've been drawing, reading, typing, playing, being creative all my life. And I was like, this is me. And the guy sitting on this chair is not me. I can't stand this anymore. Yeah, it was really, really hard to cope with. Like, all your friends and get even worried. Like, hey, are you fine? No, I'm not fine. Like, no, I'm not even close to be fine. So yeah, it was really a couple of years really rough. Like I was trying everything. I was drawing, making illustration, exhibition, making short movies without getting paid. Just, okay, let me try that. Let me do that. Let me see if I can make something out of this. And it was really as low as you can imagine. Like I was making this illustration and somebody came to me and was like, hey, that's not really bad. You should try to make them move. And I was like, how? Oh, I've heard about that free software, Blender, Blender, what's that? And I have never been using, not even Photoshop at the time. Like, I was just drawing on paper.
So did you self-teach yourself how to use Blender?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I'm really a big, fan of people self-touting stuff, like whatever. It's better to fail your own way than to success by the proper way, if there is one.
Right.
And especially when coming to music or art in general, like, how can anybody tell what's the proper way? At least to me, it really sounds weird. Like, I don't want to be another guy piece of art. I want to make my own stuff, whatever it is. And it was terrible piece of art at the beginning. But that's fine. It was my way, and I grew up very, very slowly, I guess. And probably Blender was the first time I was like, okay, this is huge. Like, today people can make video game at home. It was mind-blowing. Like, I was really thinking about, okay, I need 40 people, $1 million to make a game, and I need Sony to do this. No. It's just two guys in a garage with Blender making a game. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And yeah, this is it. So I just went freelancing for Blender, small stuff at the beginning, like just modeling. And somebody told me, you can paint over your models. And I was like, nah, really? Can I? Yeah, you actually can. Oh, okay. So I went in texturing, and then I just made a couple short movies. I'm definitely not an animator. I'm just doing that for fun, but that made me think that I wanted something which was not static, like an image. Okay, a render is fine, but when it's moving and if somebody's playing, it's a whole another level. So I was like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm a game developer.
That's
all right.
Fantastic. Like that's I'm just in awe of anybody who can just stop their practical job to like follow their dreams. And I'm always impressed by somebody who's willing to take that big step. And it's not like you took that step in many ways. Were you putting a lot of stuff then on YouTube? You're talking about your art and some small videos you were doing.
No, like I have to be really honest. I'm the least social guy. I don't like phones and social media. I'm like out of everything like that. And I don't know, there's not a reason. And I still like, to go out, find people down the streets and just talk about that. I'm really tired about that. Like, who cares about smartphones and whatever. It's just, you can find me in the, just right there with the old guys playing cards at the table while drinking. I'm one of them. They are pretty much about 70 or 80. I'm fine with that. No phones, no connection, no emails. This work.
You'll have to get them into your video game then.
Oh, they are. They kind of are. A couple of them, of those old guys, are indeed characters I have used for short movies.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they are fantastic. With their beards, their mustache, and they are just great. And where people are like, hey, how do you come with that? Hey, just come with me. I'm going to show you where they comes from.
Is that where you maybe got the idea for your devil guy with the big beards and stuff?
I'm sure I've met that guy somewhere. I can tell you like it's this guy or that other guy, but for sure is someone existing which will sue me for sure when games comes out. That's
after Disney sues you first, yeah?
Yeah, I hope so. That will be probably the first, the biggest source of income for the game. What can I give back to Disney? I'm a guy living in one room. Wanna take it? That's fine. Just leave me a couple of guitar and
that'll be some good publicity for you. That's for sure.
Yeah. I can still cry on command. So Disney, if you're hearing me, okay.
I do want to get just a bit more about your history into games. So you said you started with Sonic. What are some of your other favorite games that you've played?
Okay. I'd say probably the biggest actual impact on me when I was a young adult was Final Fantasy. 7, 8, 10, 9.
I actually I called in to work sick when Final Fantasy 7 came out, and I took 4 days off work.
Oh, I did not did that. No. I just was like at school at time.
Right.
And I'm not feeling good, Mom.
Yeah.
Jeez, I like... It was the first game I realized that game could blend with storytelling, art, or whatever. You know, Sonic is just a cool game to play, and it's a platform. And it was like, oh my gosh, there is a universe of stories and person, and it's more complex than just, you know, having fun and playing a game. Yeah, so I grew up with that mainly. Yeah, so, for sure. So what, probably my biggest influence.
Oh, sorry. So what would be your... I know we're still going to talk about Summertime Madness, but is there another type of genre that you enjoy? Your game, Summertime Madness, is a first-person puzzle game. So that's nothing like Sonic. It's nothing like Final Fantasy, other than the story elements. Yeah. So why did you choose this genre and not something else?
Oh, this is 90% budget reason.
Right.
Like, okay, I want to do this game. And what I have is a story, a lot of illustration and ideas. But it's really hard to say, okay, why people should play a game which is not that complex or longer or something else. I had to keep this really tight. So no third person, because you can save to animate a full character. It's just a camera walking around. No other characters. In the game there are no texts, like everything is visual. So no localization costs. And you may say, is that a choice? Maybe. It is a smart choice. I would do something different if I had a team, a budget or anything else. But I guess probably as a good advice from a game dev is always to focus on what you have and what you can make with it, which is different from what you would make if you had $10 million. That's an easy question to answer. I would make Final Fantasy 17. That's the answer. It's easy. But when you have, I'd say, 5,000, 10,000 for a year of development, you gotta focus on, okay, this is and this is not. So a puzzle game in first person, look at like, okay, this maybe can work. And probably I was inspired from shorter game like Limbo, Journey, Inside. My favorite indie game ever, which is Kentucky Road Zero.
Oh yeah.
That's a masterpiece.
We reviewed that. It's awesome. I love that game.
That's the game of my adulthood. Like when I saw that and played that, I was like, if I'm not making something this level compare, I'm failing everything. I have to try. It's amazing.
Yeah,
and still it's not like $10 million budget Sony game. It's just cardboard games. Is what, 4 guys?
2 or 3 guys. Yeah.
The design of the game, so simple, so clean. It's amazing.
Yeah,
the soundtrack was... I guess I have a vinyl probably somewhere of that. Fantastic. Amazing.
Yeah, that's so true. But at least you didn't take 10 years to make your game.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were busy. They were real busy. they had the crazy schedule.
Yeah, I could not take really more than 1 year.
Yeah.
Probably even because I'm really... severe with myself, like, okay, I have to do this, I have 1 year. Why do I have 1 year? I don't know, because I decided I have 1 year and I'm gonna make it in 1 year, and this is it. A game development can stand forever. Like, there is always something you can add, you can edit. You cannot be 100% satisfied. It's madness. You can't. So it's smarter to just, set a time bomb and say, okay, this, whatever is in, fine. After that, there's another game. Not the same game for 10 years. Yeah, for sure.
Now, this game is based around a painter and his deal with a shady character. I mean, is it the devil or is that...
Oh, I'm not allowed to
You're not allowed to talk about that one. Okay. My question, though, would be, what is your background with art? Why did you choose to have it be a painter? You clearly have references to things like Escher, Magritte, Dali, I think, in there as well. So what is your background as far as that goes?
Yeah, as an artist, you name it, quite a bunch of them. Magritte, Dali, De Chirico. Those are my favorite painters, and I'm just, a guy which loves art, as a lot of guys out there. But once again, the reason why the game is like that is just a smart reason. Okay, I cannot make a whole city or a planet. The initial idea was this game is just a guy solving a puzzle on the island. Just the island with the trees. Just that. 1 hour walking around in an island, because the budget just allows for that. And if the game goes well, I'm making another game, and then we will see. Just an island. And I was like, okay, why people should walk 1 hour around on an island? That's stupid. I will not do that, even if there is a reason. So I thought, okay, I need a story. A story that explains the reason why you cannot. You are just trapped in a small area. I guess okay, I like arts. I have a lot of illustration. How can I place a character stuck in something? What's a restrained space? And then, maybe it's just, that's common story, painter just deal with the devil. And but this can work. There is not a word to explore because it's just the canvas he has painted. So that's restricted. And I found out that this reason could also, make me jump from one environment to another. You play the game, you are now on an island, now you are on bridges on sky, and 2 seconds after that you are in complete another place. And I was like, okay, how can I join everything together? And the reason was, if those are canvas, there is a little bit of magic. I just need a trick to jump. The door you see in the game, those were, probably the happiest thing I've came with. A door. I can solve everything. Just placing doors. I was like, this is genius. Okay.
The genius.
It's terrible to say about that themselves. That's, let's please cut that. But I was like, okay, I'm the MVP right there. Doors, they will solve everything. And at least I tried to do something which is maybe common in movies, like Birdman. I love Birdman. It's just one shot. There's never a cut. It's 2 hours long without a shot. And I was like, okay, I want to do this in a game. And everybody was like, no, that's stupid. It's flat out that's stupid and there's no reason to have everything in one scene without loading. And I was like, this is your way. I will take my way of being stupid and make my own dumb game without a loading screen. And so it was from the moment you load the scene, you are just playing. There is no black screen or loading screen.
Oh yeah,
it's just
I never even realized that until now. That just shows you how kind of flawless that is. Yeah, I didn't even.
Yeah.
Now that you've mentioned it, now I remember. There's not a single loading screen.
Yeah, there is no cut. It's just like watching a movie.
Yeah.
You are playing. You are done when you are done.
Yeah.
Nothing gonna ruin the mood or pause or explain you something. It's just you and a game.
Was that hard to program without loading screens? Did that give you some kind of limitations?
Let me say you that a couple of months ago, in another interview, I had the same question. I was like, hey, this is kind of cool. How did you do that? And I opened Unity, and I was like, okay, let me check if I have something to explain. I was looking at my own code, and I was like, I have no idea how this is working. And why it should work, and how I managed to pull it off at the time. So the real answer is, it was really complex. That kind of complexity that when you get over it, you kind of lock it and say, okay, this is done. I'm never coming back to fix this. It was like it, and it was really satisfying for sure. Hey, I can play 6 hours with not an even single frame of loading. But had, yes, a lot of limitation. Everything you have seen in the game is somehow actually there. It's hidden, it's moved, it's weird. If you would see the game from the background, it's how is it even possible that it's so clean when you play it? There's a lot of stuff going just beyond your shoulders. but it was worth it.
I think as far as that goes, the Escher-esque house, I think, when you're walking around and physical space doesn't follow logical physical reality, and how smooth that was, that one really got me. I was just enjoying walking around that quite a bit.
Oh, thank you.
For me, it was when you first start the game, I was completely blown away just by the way that the grass kind of blows over in waves. That's absolutely beautiful.
But both of this make me really happy because even the grass, you may think, oh, it's just grass, I was obsessed.
Oh, you were? I can tell, because I've never seen that before.
If you ever seen Miyazaki animation, that's the grass I was aiming for. And I had like 12, 20 type of grass. And I was like, no, not good. No, not good. And I spent 1 month out of 1 year on the damn grass. And this is the most stupid thing I have ever done. But I was telling my buddies, like, who saved the preset of the grass? And I swear, whatever game we are gonna make, this grass, I'm gonna carry this grass like until I'm dead.
In everything you do from now on, this grass.
Yes. Maybe I'm making the most, realistic game with, 4K graphics. I don't give a fuck. The grass will be dead, cellulose grass with wind on it, and I will be happy with that.
Because, there's even that game called Flower, right? You know the game Flower?
Oh, Flower. Yeah.
I honestly thought your grass was better than that, and that's a game about grass, So it's like... you pulled it off better, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. Of course, there's a secret about that, which I'm not going to share.
No, that's your secret. That's your secret recipe, man. That's your secret.
Really, no joke. Darren and I were talking about this today, and we both brought up the grass. It really sticks out as something beautiful, and just the way that the grass moves just looks so authentic. And I really appreciate that.
I really have, to have the programmer, which worked with me, Cosimo, to see this podcast when it comes out. Because I met this guy on the internet. I was looking for a programmer, and I found this guy, and we started working. I was just, asking for a couple of tasks. I was like, nah, I'm gonna, do everything on my own. I just need a couple of codes, something like that. A long story short, now he's part of DP Games and is working with us. The guy is a really fantastic programmer. So the first month we met, we started with grass. And it was like, we are making grass like every day. Just there is a ball game to do and you're paying me for making grass, which is like the exact same grass from yesterday, just another green. And I was like, yes, that's not the exact green yet. And he was like, okay, that's good for you. That's good for me. Whatever. So yeah, now 1 year later, I'm going to be, hey, take this. I was right. The grass is great.
So I do want to ask, have you done any sort of game work before this? Like even just for yourself? Sure. Were you making any sort of RPG Maker games or like game jam competitions? Or is this it? This was the beginning?
As a developer?
Yeah.
This is the beginning. Like it's the first time I have my own project and doing it. But it's been like 4 years or 5 years, which I'm working in the industry. I've been working on Dark. I don't know if you heard of that.
Dark, D-A-R-Q?
With the Q.
The kid with the head that comes off and stuff and climbs up the walls.
That one.
Oh, wow.
Yes, exactly.
All right.
That.
I did not know that.
That was a great experience.
What was your role on that
fantastic.
then? Were you doing modeling on that? Backgrounds?
Yeah, I modeled the whole level, I guess. Which one it was? The Crypt.
The Crypt.
The DLC.
That was the DLC, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That one.
Ah.
And even something from another level, but which really short part. Yeah, but the Crypt. Mainly the Crypt.
Ah, okay, that's cool.
And I was the level designer for that. That was really cool experience.
That's a cool game as well.
And I loved the game way before I get in touch with Vlad, the developer.
Yeah.
And he brought me on Facebook, probably. Like, hey, I stumbled on your profile. Do you want to work with me? And I was like, who is this guy? Oh, it's that guy. I was like, yeah, I will work for free. There's no need for that. There is actual payment for your work. So that's great.
Actually, speaking of Dark, so if you can talk about it, did Epic offer you a deal at any point?
No. If we want to be really honest, Epic did not even answer my request to, hey, can I have
shame
the
on
game
them
on the Epic Store? I've sent them 3 requests. The first when I was looking for an investor. And okay, that's fine. The prototype I had was completely shit. Like, okay, that was horrible. I don't know why Humble Bundle really believed in me. They were lucky, but they had all the reason to not invest in this. Then a second time when the demo came out, and I was like, hey, my game is on Steam. Like, I have a demo out. Maybe now nope. And last one, a couple of months ago, like, I'm on Steam. Like, it's real, huh? Nope, nothing. So
wow. Yeah, because the developer of Dark obviously famously refused the Epic deal, didn't he? So
yeah, I know the story, and I ever read the story even before meeting Vlad.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm glad Humble came through for you though. That's great. That's good news.
Oh yeah.
What would have been like the worst case scenario then if no one had picked you up then? I
know the answer. It's probably me sitting on the couch of some friend's house crying. That's quite simple. I was like, okay, this is it. I had 2,000 euro saved. Just that. And I had like, okay, I'm gonna spend everything on making this prototype. Like, until I have no money. Like, zero. Like, not even money to pay for food or for rent. Nothing. I'm just investing into this thing. If it goes well, then this is it. If not, maybe I have to reconsider something. Like, I really love being a freelancer. Like, I'm doing everything at my own pace. I'm fine. But maybe I should get hired by a real studio. You know, I was, okay, maybe if it's not working, I have to think about that. It didn't happen, luckily. And that was just great and really like a movie. Like, on the very last day, I have decided, okay, it's February. It's February 2020. March 1st, or I have money, or I'm out of here. As simple as that. And John from Humble Bundle came to me like 27th of February. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. I still have 1 day left because it's 28 days. Oh, that's great. I'm going to sign the contract the day after, just to be perfectly on the day before 1st March.
So how did that work then? The Humble gave you money in order for you to finish the project, and then they expected to put the game in the Trove then before you could sell it. Is that right?
Exactly. Perfect. Exactly. And I have to say, John Paulson, my referent at Humble Bundle, was a super cool guy. Like, never asked me. I was really, worried. Like, this is me. This is Humble Bundle. Like, they're going to tell me, we want the game to be black and white, and it will be black and white. We want the game to be about goats killing Nazis, and so will be. I was like, jeez. Nothing of that happened. John was really collaborative, really gentle with me, just talking and suggesting me about ideas. He never told me you have to do this. He always told me we should do this or consider that. So that really worked out super smooth for me.
So was he in a way kind of like a good editor, looking at the work and then helping out?
For sure. It was just great. I can say nothing which is not a good thing about the whole Humble Bundle thing and everything else.
That's wonderful. So
maybe if I have, I imagine it, but I can understand this, that on May, when the game was released on Trove, I was like, oh, I'm getting a little bit of, advisory or something. And then I noticed that there was just that game, you cannot even click on the link which we gave you for free just because, blah, blah, blah. Hey, it's Metro, it's the big game, you should play that. And I was like, okay, I know, that's obvious. But still, maybe just, I don't know, something. Hey, I'm there, I'm working with you 1 year, just... Okay, but that's fine. I mean, it's business. They have 12 big games, and that's what they sell.
I mean, the thing is, I thought they could have done a better job promoting you or advertising your game. I've been subscribed to Humble for years. I played your demo on Steam, and I posted some screenshots, and one of my Steam friends said, hey, did you know that's part of the Humble Trove now? I was like, nope. And then I went in, and I didn't even believe them at first. I was like, it's not the whole game. It can't be the whole game. It's not even out on Steam yet. And so I went in, I downloaded it, DRM free, booted it up, and I was like, I got a different menu at the beginning. I was like, holy shit, this is the full game. You know?
Yeah, indeed.
So yeah, it was. That was probably one of the better games that month for me from the humble choice.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So how long will the game be in the Trove then?
Forever, I guess.
Okay.
Because they do swap out games.
Oh.
But the thing is, Justin, I think maybe because they've paid for this, and so maybe with the other games they only have a number of months,
a limited contract
for it. So
I can tell you for sure that I know that Humble Bundle has a wide array of different contracts between developer. Sometimes just for this and that, so I can really tell for other games. For Summertime Madness, it was this weird contract, like, we give you all the money, we don't want anything back, just the game, you keep the game for you, you sell it, and you don't know us nothing. And it was like, okay, seems fair.
Sounds like making a deal with the devil. Sounds something familiar.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you something about that. When I wrote down the story about the devil, and everything else, I didn't notice that, but somebody came to me and was like, hey, that's, your story. And I was like, nope. And he was like, yeah, it's your story. And I was like, nope. And he was like, yeah, well, consider that just 2 weeks after you got the game signed by Humble Bundle, you are an artist trapped in his house because we were in lockdown, was the beginning of everything else. You can go out because there is a war or a virus, and you are trapped into your own art. And I was like, oh, jeez, that's true. It's actually happening. And I was like, okay. I see there is something similar about that. Okay, this is weird. Okay, I admit it. This was not expecting it to be.
Sounds like that close life to imitating art now, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. And I remember on a piece of paper, I just wrote down, a guy trapped in his house make a deal with the devil to have $10 million in the next day after. I just wrote that on a paper, never happened. So it's not working every time you write it on a paper. I'm sorry.
I was gonna try, but yeah, okay.
When it comes to creating your first game, what were some of the difficulties that you found? Maybe some things you didn't realize going into it were going to be a major issue. I mean, clearly, you probably didn't plan to spend a whole month on grass in the beginning, but like what other kind of obstacles did you encounter on the way?
I can think about technical difficulties. 3 months ago, someone came to us and was like, hey, does the game support controllers? And I was like, does it should support controller? And they were like, yes, they should be. And I was like, controller, it's just like, your controller, USB port, you're done. Unity will do everything else. That was the most annoying task you can never imagine. Mapping out different controllers and the Steam controllers, which is completely different from any other controller. And everything you have done, and which is not meant initially to work on a controller, will not work. And the menus will not. That was just annoying to the worst level you can imagine. And there are a lot of technical issues, like the controller, the saving system. When we moved from local saving, which is the one you have on Humble Bundle, you are just saving on your machine, from cloud saving. Your save on Steam or just on Steam server. You can play the game from whatever PC you want. And that caused a million of data loss and bugs, and you started the game with the end game and you had all the achievements that was like, oh, that's terrible. So the real advice is, when it comes to technical stuff, just think twice about everything that could even remotely possibly happen in the future. Do it at the beginning. Whatever you do, just plan it. And that's a stupid advice, like, yeah, it's like it should be like that. Yes, thanks, now I know. 1 year before, I was like, hey, I'm gonna make grass and art and castle. Who cares about the saving system? I will care about that later on. So yeah, technical stuff really needs some accurate planning.
Have you ever watched the Double Fine Adventure?
No, I guess.
It was a really long, 20-episode documentary of Double Fine as they were making the game Broken Age. I just watched that recently, so it's very fresh in my mind. And they have a guy there called Oscar, who's one of his biggest jobs is making the game compliant with all the different systems, like the different consoles and with Steam and everything, make sure that works. And the thing I never would have realized if I hadn't watched is he basically picked up this binder, this really thick binder full of just instructions of everything to make this work for the PlayStation. It just blew my mind. I didn't realize there would be so much to do to make it work on the different systems.
Yeah, it's crazy. And at least for us, we are not in charge of the porting. We have a publisher which will care for the porting, which is sometimes you. And that's great. Because when we tried to think about, okay, we maybe can make the porting on our own, 2 hours later, we were like, no, we are not going to make it. Like, there's no hell is going to freeze before we are. And maybe there is some chance for Nintendo Switch. That looks like a more easy porting, probably. But definitely consoles like PlayStation or Xbox, it's you really got to know what you're doing. It's not just pressing a button for sure.
Is that something really you're working on now? Are you working on porting that now, or has that already been taken care of?
No, I'm working on something else, which there are a lot of, Easter egg in the game. You have seen a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say if 1 year from now, 2 years from now, you would see something, it's probable that a little piece of that thing was already in Summertime Madness.
Okay.
Let's just say that there is a lot of stuff around, like, okay, this is something I will do later on. I really like to,
Sorry, yeah, I was going to ask you actually, because I know the game is just, it's not even released yet, but it's releasing real soon. But I wanted to kind of jump ahead and say, do you already have plans for something else? It sounds like you're on a really strict timeline, and you're like, "Yep, I'm gonna get stuff done." So, do you already have ideas for future games and stuff?
Yeah, this is quite simple to figure out. Like, if I'm not working on something, I get depressed like in 2 hours. That's simple. So I'm always working on something.
Is it another puzzle game?
No, maybe. Okay, there are two projects, and one is a puzzle game.
Okay.
And the other one is not. We talked about Final Fantasy and that kind of stuff.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, if I made a simple game, maybe I can make a more complex game. And maybe. I'm still trying to see if that's possible. But for sure, that's the direction. Like, I'm really that type of guy that whenever something is done, the day after, it's done. Like, I don't even care. What's the best thing I have ever done in my life? The next one. Whatever it is, I don't care. I just want to move forward. So Summertime Madness, from a personal standpoint, was just huge. Was just, a 30 years commitment to something. June 18, I'm over that. I'm on the next one. This is it. You are grown, son. Go. You're out. Let the world play you, and let's see what happens.
Do you think that it helped a bit being able to put the game out on kind of I know restaurants sometimes have what they refer to as like a soft open, where they just have friends and family come in. And with the humble Trove, it feels like you almost had a soft open with the game, where you have a smaller amount of people coming in. They're really just getting it as kind of a bonus for what they've already paid for. Do you think that put you in a nicer, like more relaxed state for the fact that your game is coming out soon, but you seem very relaxed about it, whereas I think I would be still, nail-bitingly nervous.
Okay, yeah. Your answer is good, and I have this guy right there, at least on my screen is right there, is the proof of what you were saying. Darren picked the game on Humble Bundle, and it was just a guy reaching me out. He was super kind to me, and we started talking about the game. And Darren alone just found out like 274,000 million bugs on the current release. And at the beginning was like, okay, this guy found a bug. Okay, that's fine. It's just one. And then there were two, and there were three. I was like, okay, this guy is mind gold. Like, is a free Q&A service for me. It was like fantastic, and I loved. Like, he came back to me. And it was like, really, Darren played all the crazy stuff, like the achievements and things that, and I should not say this, we are supposed, we know they work, but nobody will ever try to check if that's working or not. The guy tried it and they are not working. Now we know that and we fixed that. And this is, the exact type of stuff which can really ruin your release. And it's a $10 game. I will never complain for something like, oh, this achievement is not working. Dude, I'm not Blizzard. Let me fix it. The day after the launch, it will be fine. But still, it's common to see a lot of people review, thumbs down. The game is not working, it's broken. I'm gonna refund this. Terrible.
Yeah, Steam reviewers are ruthless, and the achievement hunters they're out for blood. If there's one broken achievement and they can't get that 100%, they will crucify you.
They will. So for sure, I owe this guy like 50% of the sales.
All
probably.
Right, I'll send you my bank details, Davide, okay?
Oh, okay, that's fine. About being relaxed, this is probably nothing which the actual game development or release or something. I'd say at least I consider myself a very lucky dude. Like, I'm working on what I love. My work is actually to talk with people from the other part of the world which love to play my game. Come on. I mean, this is not working. The working is when you have to wake up in 4 a.m, go to put your clothes, it's winter, go out, work 8 hours, come back. That's working. It's not sitting. I am half dressed and half not dressed, and that's fine. I mean, okay, I'm stressed for sure for the release, and I'm hitting up guys and press and reviews and fixing bugs. But in the end, may it be 1,000 copies, 10,000 copies, 100s. This maybe sounds weird, but I don't give a shit. Like,
I mean, $10. I thought you were going to be releasing kind of normal $20 indie game. So $10 is a really good price, man.
Oh, this is when I was thinking about the price. I was like, okay, if I had to buy this game, let's be serious, it's my money. How much I'd spend? And it's not that super long game. It's just what I can call a couple of days. Like, you start it on Monday, and depending on how much you like puzzle game, you can take 2 days, 3 days, or 2 weeks if it's not your type of game. But 3 days, I'm not paying more of $10 or $12. This is it. I want to be really honest with.
Yeah, I think you've hit like our price range that we love. So yeah, I think that even when we were talking about today, he was saying $20 was what he was guessing, and even that I went, yeah, to start off. I mean, the indie $20, especially at the start, is common. To go at 10 it's nice. That's very nice, I think.
What's Hollow Knights is like $20.
Yeah.
That's a fucking masterpiece. And it has hundreds of gameplay. And then you see, do you want to buy... Okay, it's different. It's another game, but still, Hollow Knights or Summertime, what's something madness from that Italian spaghetti guy. That's not working. So, it's better to say, okay, whatever, I'm gonna lose a couple of bucks for each copies. I don't mind. Just play it. Whatever. That's fine. I want people to play it. I don't care whatever happens after that.
Do you have... I know you said you're kind of done with it, but do you have a favorite level from this game?
Yes, I do. I'm not like, it's my game. I love every part of it.
No, I'll bet you love more parts over another. Yeah, I'm guessing.
There is some part I really hate about it. And I was like, okay, we are 2 guys. We decided to work on this game. So everybody, is working together. But I don't like this, but we are going to keep this. So favorite part, it's very simple. It's probably the bridge suspended on the clouds. And as simple as that, it's just woods and clouds and nothing else, and a big moon. And I was like, oh, this is so romantic somehow, with music, the damn right music.
The music is great throughout the whole thing, to be honest. The music is on point, man. Oh, actually, just before I forget about it, the music that plays in the developer room, which you're actually sitting in right now, because most games have dev rooms, but they're just like posters and little bits of like graphic screenshots. Yours is actually the developer's room. The 2 paintings behind you they're in the game. The guitar on the wall that I can see, it's in the game. Also, the music in that room. Is that your track? Did you write that? That's so good. I mean, I'm surprised it's not like part of the credits. You have to go back to that room every time to hear it now. That's a great track, man. I really enjoyed that.
To send you the track when I'm sending, the recording of this conversation.
I'd love that. Yeah,
I'm gonna send you. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's
okay. You really hit a soft spot like that, like now, because if I had to pick something, I wish I could do. My, first 3 picks would be third place video games, second place music, and first place movies. The whole goal of this adventure is making a movie one day. Before that, maybe I want to make a rock band, and now I'm making video games. Just, a long road. But still, I'm probably playing music as much as I'm working on video games. I cannot even stand one day without playing something or composing or listening to music 8 hours, probably.
Sorry,
if you mute the game and play without audio, that's worthless to me.
Oh, yeah.
It means nothing.
I've always maintained that there are good games, but music and sound effects are, for me, what elevate that game to like the next level. If it's got a good soundtrack and a good ambient sounds, good music, that's killer. That's like the icing on the cake. But yeah, when I was in your developer's room, which is kind of creepy now because it's like I've been stalking you because I've been in your house. But yeah, I noticed your guitars. You've got 3 guitars, 3 electrics, 1 acoustic.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice was you put a copy of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Are you a fan?
Yes. Just a little bit, maybe.
Just a little bit?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yeah.
That's because when I went in there, I was expecting artistic books or like paintings, and then it's like, here's a copy of Hitchhikers. It's like, okay.
I can tell you that when we had to use random numbers for some part of the codes, like, okay, we need a random numbers here, we used the very same number all over the code, which is 42. Exactly. There is a lot of... So if you... now let's cut this. Let's keep this for us.
The other thing I was going to ask you is, what the hell is that whale thing that flies through the air, man? What is that? Or is that a secret that you don't want to let go?
No, it's a very long story, and you maybe noticed it by now that I tend to talk quite a bit. That's because I'm Italian, and if you hate this, you're racist. So it's your fault.
I lived there for 2 years, so I'm all good.
Oh yeah. How it was?
I loved it. I lived in Milan for 2 years. It's a great city. I loved aperitivo, especially.
Yeah.
My only thing that I'm sad is I was working so much, I didn't get a real chance to travel, so I never got down south, I never got to Roma, I never got to Napoli. I only got to like Genova, and I got as far down as Firenze, and that was it. So
Firenze is just
beautiful.
Amazing.
Yeah. The steak.
Fantastic.
Fiorentino steak?
Yeah,
oh my God.
Yes. It's just like this, and it's as raw as you can do. It's
beautiful.
Just screaming. Yeah.
So back to your game then. So what is that whale thing?
I have a couple of answers for this one. Let me grab you this, which is a video.
What was the story behind that? As you said, 2017, you wanted to make a movie. You made a movie about a mouse with cheese.
Oh, I guess I have made countless short movies, like 10-second movies without meaning. Just, okay, this is cool. I want to have 20 seconds of this mouse or this guy without never coming to an end, I'd say, because not everything gets founded or you found money for that.
Right.
I guess I have a folder named Small Failure in Italian, like or unsuccessful stories. And there's a lot of cool stuff and a lot of terrible stuff as well, I admit it. But as for the whale, I'm gonna paste you this. You can check it out later on or whatever. And it's a short movie with that whale.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, excellent.
And the whales come from a recurring dream I was having when I was like 7 or 8. I was just a kid. It was a scary recurring dream. Like I was near a lake. I was just looking at the water, and the water was swollen up, and something was under the surface of the water. And I was really in fear. I could not see what it was. I just remember me looking at this shadow under the surface of the sea. And it was rising up, rising up, rising up. And the moment when it was almost out, I woke up. I never ever had any idea what it was. Years later, I decided, okay, I have to create something which I can tell, okay, this was it. This was the thing I had. So the whale came out and I adopted it. It is my friend. It's pretty much everywhere. In the dev room, there is, a small whale on the sofa.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah.
A stuffed whale. It's pretty much everywhere. It's in probably 90% of everything I make. I just keep dragging this thing around, which for me personally, and is, I don't know, just really personal, is all the dark side of each one of us, which is still under the surface, and I like to keep that part with me. I know, no, I'm a positive guy, I'm just a good guy. No, everybody's, made of two, yin and yang, black and white, whatever.
Sure.
That's a friendly reminder of whatever I am also that kid which was dreaming about a huge monster. It's just creepy if you say that, okay, this smiling guy is that creepy little guy, so that's the same person.
Another question I had for you is, what is the... I saw it everywhere, man.
Oh, I gotta go. Oh, really? I'm sorry. And jeez.
But I'm gonna say that if you don't want to answer, you don't have to. I'm gonna throw it out there.
Okay, I'm gonna answer. For sure, this is like for us, 100%.
Okay.
For us. Fuck you. Shame on me, I should expect that from the man who found everything which is in the game. I can tell you, you actually found out everything but one Easter egg.
Oh.
Just one.
Okay.
Then you found everything. Fuck you, I'm not gonna tell you where it is. I'm gonna keep it for me. I'm not gonna tell you, because that's not fair. I just spent countless nights nobody will find this. And then this guy arrives and starts, I found everything. Congrats. Okay, now I'm stupid. Okay.
Hey man, like I told you, I was obsessed with this game, man. I was just going out of my mind, just playing this over and over again, going, I gotta get under 1 hour. I had notes of all the puzzle solutions all over my desk. I look like a crazy person, man.
Which I'm going to tell you is like a fantastic compliment, because we are not typically the type of players that would play this kind of game multiple times, and certainly not multiple times back to back. So clearly you triggered something in him to make him want to play it 20 times within the span of a few weeks.
That's great.
My final question then would be, what do you hope people will take away from the game? What do you hope that they leave the game thinking and feeling?
I really hope, just for one thing, that somebody, let's say a 15 years old kid somewhere in Brisbane or Melbourne or whatever, maybe play the game and think, so, just 3 guys from Italy made a cool game by using their spaghetti and their mandolino, and we did use it. Maybe I can do that. So when coming back from school, he's just downloading Blender or whatever and trying to make his own game, or his own music, or whatever. Inspiring someone else, that's pretty much about it. And if you finish the game and read the very last sentence of my credits, that sums everything up. To everyone which is engulfed in madness, this game is for you. You can do that. Move on. It's doable. I've made it, and honestly not thinking I am anybody specifically gifted or talented, and just somebody really working his ass off, for sure. This is it. That's what I wish. Not like gameplay reviews or longevity reviews. Dude, it's a $10 game. What the fuck you're expecting for it? It's not. And I mean, even Biomutant 2 days ago, $16, and people are just crazy about it. It's a game. I'm happy if you play it 10 minutes, think that the music is great, never play the game anymore. Go out, play music with your friends. I won. That's fine. Just don't refund the game, please. At least, if you're not playing it anymore, please just keep it.
Yeah, don't refund it, yeah.
I think that's a wonderful, wonderful more about the, you want to be the inspiration than the please don't refund it. But I love the whole idea of promoting creativity, so I do really appreciate that.
I hope so.
So just a reminder to our listeners, the game does release on Steam June 17th, and it will be coming elsewhere, correct?
Oh, yeah. In autumn, we'll release on PlayStation and Xbox, and eventually on Nintendo Switch. As for Switch, I cannot guarantee it will make the cut before the end of the year, but I can grant you that the game will be on Switch for sure.
Excellent. And how can people find you? Where can they follow what you're up to?
Oh, you can find DP Games on Twitter by the handler DP Games, or Instagram, Facebook, or on Steam, looking for DP Games or Summertime Madness. And there is a website, which is, of course, summertimemadness.com. You can come and say hi wherever you want.
I want to thank you for coming in, being so honest, giving us your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, me too, man.
Thank you for having
I've
me.
spoken to you for weeks now on Steam. It's really cool to put a face to the name, to who I've been speaking to. And I wish you all the best, man. I can't wait for the Steam launch, and I just hope it goes awesome for you.
Thank you. I'm really super happy to be there, and I'm really honest, like, the fact that I'm talking with two new friends, guys, whatever you want to name it, from the other part of the world about the game I've made, this made my day. You were super kind. I had a lot of fun. For sure. I just have to make another game just to have another podcast at this point.
Yeah, man.
You're
definitely.
welcome back. Definitely.
Come back.
You are forcing me to do that.
I want to see the next 2 games for sure.
All right. I hope so.
All right, man.
I'm really sad right now. Like, oh, this is...
No.
You want to tell me something else? Like, what you going to eat later on? Or what's the weather like? Whatever you are.
I was going to ask you something, but it's a little bit of a spoiler for your game. I was going to say, Justin doesn't know this, but I think you have a bit of a crush on Emilia Clarke.
Oh, I see somebody has got all the achievement. Yes, okay, let's be honest. That's the only reason why I'm making this. You know, the whole a kid in Brisbane gets inspired. Who cares about kids? Come on! Kids are just gonna be terrible grandparents one day. Come on, who cares about kids or... I care about 2 things. Money and Emilia Clarke. This is it. That's it. Yeah, okay, this is the truth. Like Emilia Clarke, yes. The fact is, I'm pretty much positive she has a crush on me and she doesn't know about that. It's just, she's missing this little problem. And I can tell you a story. My best friend, Attilio, which is working with me on the game, one day I was like watching Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, I'm gonna meet this girl one day. And I was like, no, you're not gonna do. I was like, yes, I'm gonna do. I was like, no, you're gonna do. And I was like, okay, you know what? I just need, an amplifier for my voice. I have to make something that can reach out there. And he was like, oh, what you gonna do? A movie? So maybe I'm gonna get started from a video game. Oh, really? And what's your video game called? It's called Summertime Madness. And that was the beginning of this whole thing. Like, okay, maybe I can really stop being a fucking freelancer and working on Dark, because Epic didn't offer me anything. I really hope to get a deal from Epic, but I would sign that. Like the very first moment after that, oh, okay, give me money, I'm out, take the game, fuck you, I'm gonna visit England and get to Emilia. That's the plan. That didn't happen, so I was like, damn, I have to really make the game. If there is a chance you maybe, get in touch with her, just let me know. Odds are not so favorable, but maybe.
Oh, we can hashtag her on Twitter and send her this video.
Oh, that would be like amazing for me from the jail. Just better than that, and I'm still hoping a little bit for that, for you, Darren. Yep. To pull off the mask, and you are Emilia Clarke, and this is it. Okay, if it's not gonna happen, I'm gonna be really sad for the whole day.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, there goes your day.
Abort, mission failed. Delete the game. Fuck it.
Man. I think we have to cut this part and put it at the start of the interview. This is fucking hilarious.
Okay, so do me a favor.
Yeah.
keep this part, because one day I would be sitting in Yara Emilia and people were like, oh, how this started? And I was like, you won't believe me. There was me and 2 random guys from the internet, and I told them this story, and I can fucking prove everything is real. You won't believe me, but please just look at the video.
This all started with two old bald guys on the internet. Man. Awesome. Gaps filled or gaps created. Hey, you can say, oh yeah, if people want to find you, they go outside and find the 70-year-old men playing cards, yeah?
That's what I should say.